Hi everyone, just a quick update on the progress on the garden. Hope that you enjoy. Since we last showed you the garden, we have put up a 40% shade cloth that stretches from that boundary wall on that side, goes up diagonally across and down to the fence on this side again. We've also covered the front with a bird netting. Number one, we're keeping the pigeons out. They were destroying the seedlings that we were planting as well as eating the chicken food. And number two, we're taking off most of the worst of the heat, just allowing some of the vegetables, especially our leafy greens, to grow better. If it's too hot, they bolt, which means that they go to seed. So as you can see, we've taken away the boxes and we have gone for proper market garden style planting with beds that are 75 centimeters wide and a pathway that's 25 to 30 centimeters wide. So the Americans, that's about 30-inch beds and 10-inch spacing in between pathways. Starting on this end, we've planted zucchinis again. They have been superstars in our garden here in a semi-arid climate. So there's just a single row of them because they grow quite big. In this bed here, we've done beans that are coming along. We've got beetroot. This first half, Craig planted seedlings. He transplanted the seedlings from a seedling tray. That's why they have grown a little bit bigger. So they have a head start. The planting on this end is not optimal. So there's a lot of open gaps that we don't like to see. But as you can see, for the second half, we've gone proper row spacing there. In this bed here, we've got spring onion. We've had some issues with something that attacks the spring onion. It leaves everything else, but it attacks the spring onion and it'll eat it flush with the ground. So I'm not sure if it's a mouse or crickets or termites, but it didn't touch anything else, only the spring onion. Craig made a spray with cayenne pepper and garlic. We sprayed that on the foliage and that seemed to have helped. Here we've got carrots. Also see the row planting, they're starting to germinate. And kale coming on in this bed. I love this one. This was a perfect germination. We have baby turnips or salad turnips in this first half, and in the second half radishes. Over here we have rocket. This first half up until there, and then the rest of the bed we've got a loose leaf lettuce which we'll harvest as a salad mix. Here we have marrojo. You cook with it like you cook with spinach, so it'll have the size sort of and taste, I presume, of a baby spinach. And there we have proper baby spinach on that end. And in this last bed we've got butterhead lettuce. Craig's also installed some irrigation. We have a very kind neighbor who has offered all of her sprinklers and irrigation systems that she's had on a previous property for us to use freely. So I think Craig bought a few 360-degree heads to replace some of them. It's cost us $20 Namibian dollars, so it just makes watering the garden so much easier. We have an issue with our eggplants at the moment. They seem to have a red spider mite infestation. A telltale sign of spider mite infestation are these white spots you see on the leaf. This is the effect of a spider mite sucking the sap of the leaves. So they attack the leaves, and you'll usually find them on the underside of a leaf. I don't know if you can see those red dots. That's a red spider mite. And they literally suck the life out of the leaves, and without leaves this plant cannot survive. And secondly, When the plant is under attack like this, it puts all its energy into surviving and not producing fruit. So although these plants are of a size where they should be producing, we've not had many eggplants or brinjals because of the spider mite infestation. Craig was working in the garden one day, and then it was so hot he decided to put up the gazebo, and it just happens to fit perfectly on this deck. So for now we're leaving the gazebo up. It just makes this space more usable during the day. And then here he has put together a little germination station. Not much in it right now, but this is used at the moment as a storage space, and then when we do start seedlings we also put them in here, and that just gives them a nice cozy place to start growing. Our grenadillas have really taken off, and as you can see they're growing nicely, lots of green healthy looking foliage. We also have had a lot of flowers, beautiful flowers, passion fruit flowers, but none of them have gone to fruit. So we've had almost 3 weeks of almost no sun, cloudy weather the whole day, raining every day, and in that time we've not really seen any pollinators out. So that could be one reason. The lack of sun, the rain, and no pollinators out to pollinate flowers. And it could also be a mineral deficiency. So we'll have to look into that and see if the soil perhaps needs something specific that we've not been giving these plants. But at the moment, lots of green leaves, lots of flowers, but no fruit. Found a flower. Here's one. There we go. Beautiful passion fruit flower. They're just not forming fruit. This area over here is where the chickens used to be. There's our gates. I'm starting a little compost heap here in the corner to plant little tomato seedlings. So this area will be quite nitrogen rich because of the chicken manure. So in this section of the garden we'll do tomatoes and cucumbers. The last thing I want to show you is the rake or rakes that Craig made that help us to make the rows in our beds when we want to sow the seeds. We made this using scrap wood, and we've got one rake for every spacing requirement. So the most amount of rows that we can fit into a 75 centimeter wide bed are 9 rows. So there's a rake for 9 rows, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. I think 3. We don't have anything that we sow in 2 rows, so it'll go from 9 to 3. Let me show you how he put this together. So we made the base of the rake the same width as the bed. So that ensures if you focus on keeping the edge of your rake in line with the edge of the bed, then you know that you are pulling the rake straight. He's then just used these cross braces to give it some support. You can also see that the rake is angled like that, the handle of the rake. And then we've used just I think it was an old broomstick that Craig cut into pieces and screwed them on. So we've gone, you'll see it's labeled, this is a 6-row rake, and we've always sort of spaced them in. The first row will always be 5 centimeters in, and thereafter we just calculated what the spacing should be if we wanted to make 6 rows in our bed. So this is our low cost, or no cost if you can use materials that you already have, way of making a rake. People buy very expensive seeding machines that they can push by hand. Sorry, my darling? I'll help you now, okay? We're just showing the people the rake Papa made. So, yeah, I'll play out with some footage of Craig using his homemade rakes.